Hey guys, it's Lee. This is a long weekend in Germany, and I finally get to do something I've been longing to do for at least 9 months or so, and or even much longer, and which I should have done much longer. What you see in front is two Rhynchostylis that a seller gave me like a couple of years ago, 5 years ago, something, because he sent me something which was wrong or which died in me immediately. And then he sent me some tiny plants, or my friend some tiny plants, who then gave it to me. He ordered them for me. And then I put them into Leca as I did back then, and it worked quite well. This is how it is with Leca always. It works quite well at the beginning. The roots started to grow and they were doing fine. And then afterwards it doesn't work anymore and the roots die off. And so I decided to plant them into bark and Sphagum moss, like I do with my other Rhynchostylis, which works quite well for them. Or yes, this is my Rhynchostylis gigantea, and that one is a reducer. And yeah, what you see in the front here is a dead Vanda that also used to grow inside this pot, but it's obviously not living anymore. So these two guys do have some roots left. You can see there's some happy sap there, so there should be some roots, but you see how poor this looks. And before it's too late, this one has been losing leaves already, so before it's too late, I shall replant them. What you do want to do first is you want to soak these roots so they become a little bit more flexible. The roots of Rhynchostylis are not flexible at all, but if you don't soak them, well, they're much easier to break. So what I'm gonna do is just pour a lot of water up to the top. You can see the root turns green immediately from white, meaning it hasn't been dried off for too long, although I really mistreat my plants. Okay, so it's filled to the brim, and we'll just let it sit there for, it would be better to let it sit there for a couple of hours, but I don't have that time. So while the roots are soaking and getting more flexible and soft, let's look at the media. This is some pretty chunky bark that I bought just recently from gigantea. Actually, I like that bark very much. They're not all that mushy. It's just dry bark, and yes, I like it quite a lot. They have 3 different sizes. For me, usually I use the Orchid Plus bark Orchid Plus size 2, but this is size 3. I think it's more suitable for my Rhynchostylis since they need a lot of aeration. Just for you to compare, this is Orchid Bark Plus size 1, which I would use for my orchids that have thinner roots, like the Miltoniopsis, and this is size 3. You can spot the difference right away, right? I used to cut them into half, but now I don't have to do that anymore. And it's not that overall, it's not that very expensive. It's actually much cheaper than to buy it in a garden center, and in the garden center the bark always has this mushy, dirty, earthy stuff that I don't like. So this is much cheaper. I think this is like €6 or even less, or €3. I don't remember. I have this huge package of Sphagum moss that I bought a while ago. It's been a while since I repotted. At the last time, I think it's at least 2 years. And yeah, I haven't repotted any plants for at least 2 years. Poor plants. And as for the pots, I have this this thing here where I already poked some holes in using a hot nail that I heated up over a candlelight, a candle, and you see there's a larger hole there, and this is for my wig that I'm going to insert into this pot, and then this all goes into a decorative container, and so that there's a little reservoir on the bottom. This is how I usually do it with my Rhynchostylis. It's kind of a self-watering thing. It's not really self-watering, I guess, because I don't think that the bark nor the Sphagum moss is so wicking, but it works. The water, which is too much, just goes into the little container there, and it might be dragged up by the wig that I'm going to insert. So when you see this wig here, you're like, how am I going to get it into the container? Like, and there's just a very easy hack. You just put tape around it. So when handling with these, I think it's some glass wool thing, I like to use gloves because every time I touch it, it leaves some little itchy things, tiny on my skin, and I don't want that on my skin. It actually isn't not very nice. So I wrap this around the tip. Just like so. And I think this didn't focus very well, but I think you get what I mean. And then it's not too hard to just plug it in. Et voila. And of course I don't need a wig that long, so I do have to cut it. So what I want to do is I place the wig around the pot, inside the pot, and this part sticks out of the pot and goes into the reservoir. So I cut the wig, and I want my wig actually go all the way to the top so that everything gets moist. And then I need to remove this tape. And it goes off quite easily. There we go, done. So now we get to the messy part, and I don't like mess all that much. So I'm using a little plastic bag. I know, like plastic, yeah. And this plastic bag is a little bit too small, I guess. Yeah, it's a bit too small. You just wrap it around the corners straight, and then you get your plant. And do you see that the roots are all green now? So living roots soaked with water. Here too. Oh, and you can already tell it's getting messy. So I'm just pulling out the whole thing. Should be easy. Oh, I should have. Yeah. Could have tossed it over first. And there let's see. And then you just massage all the Leca out. Dead roots. See that? There's only this is the rest. This is still firm, so it's alive, but this part is dead. And sooner or later, all these roots will die, see dead roots, so it's about time to get rid of the dead roots and all the Leca and repot them into bark and Sphagum moss. Oh, there's some living roots here. I've never seen these two guys blooming because they're still very young. I think this one, judging from the size, might be blooming in 1 or 2 years. Rhynchostylis, retusa, or gigantea. Gigantea are very, very fragrant, strongly fragrant plants, orchids. But the fragrance is not to everyone's liking, so to me it's rather chemical. But I like them because they're easy to keep, easy to grow, but they only bloom once a year, so for me at least here in Germany on artificial light. Although my Rhynchostylis gigantea spots, which I like very much, only grew on a east-facing windowsill with a lot of light. See a lot of dead roots. It's about high time, but yeah. So I'm trying to detach the roots here without breaking them. Get rid of the leca. So I don't think it's too late yet. You can still save these plants here. Oh, it's a root tip. A living root tip. See this here? Cool. So the root is still growing. And as you all know, a growing root is more adaptable to new media. This also seems like, do you see how green this is? I don't know if the cell phone will capture it. It is the very, very tip. It is a living root tip. So can I untangle this here? I'll turn off the camera. So I've managed to detach the two plants from one another and remove most of the leca and the mushy parts of the dead roots, and now I'm just removing the old sheath here. I don't think we have to do it, but once I'm at it, maybe if a new root comes out from here, it's easier for the root to get through this here. So, okay. So we do have quite good living roots here. Oh no, I broke off the root tip. Oh no, it's here, the root. No, I think I broke it off. There was a root tip here, but well, yeah, I broke it off. Well. And then we have the other plant, which, oh, this is the one with the root tip here, the white root tip here. And this one, yeah, it does have some roots too, but not too convincing, I guess. Oh, it's firm. Well, but still, it's time. Look at the plant, it's not happy. So now I can just take my plastic bag and then just toss it. It gets a lot less messy. So now for the repot, it would be much easier if I put one plant in one pot, right? And that you only have this and that much grow space, so I would try to put both plants in one pot, and they've been living together for quite a while now, so I think it should work. Yeah, so I think it will fit. So this is better prepared. Bark, Sphagum. And now when you asked me why I put Sphagum on the bottom, frankly I forgot. Somehow Miss Orchid Girl told us, and so I just followed. Stupid. And then some bark. And now what I try to do, I try to fit in the plants. Maybe like so. Yeah, maybe like so. And then I think I'd actually need a bigger pot, but I don't have a bigger pot. I need 2 pairs of hands. Then I'll just plug in some Sphagum. It's much harder with 2 plants. And don't try to push too hard because the roots might break. And then some more bark. Tap it so the bark goes down. But the bark is so chunky, I don't know if it will even fall down. And then some Sphagum. So my theory behind this is that the Sphagum will capture the water whenever I water from above, and the bark just keeps everything a bit airy. That's what I think. Because they need water and they need aeration, right? So I think this part here could use some more Sphagum. And then more mark here. Some bark here. I think there's some light at the end of the tunnel. See how this all somehow falls into place? It does, right? So there we are. A bit more Sphagum for more water retaining material. And then what my friend Andre says, I think Miss Orchid says that same, this Orchid girl, that we should end with a layer of bark on top to prevent I forgot the word. To prevent fungus, that's the word. And but I just decided I want to have some not so big bark chips on the top. So since I have smaller pieces, I'll just spread some small pieces on top. And ta-ta, I think I'm done. My first repot in 2 years. I think I still know how to do it. Yeah, I'm quite happy. It looks okay to me. I guess it is. Okay, then watering and... Oh, wait. I still need to... this one on the bottom, and then you can see the wig here. Okay, and then now I can water from the top, and all that accessory water just runs through it into the reservoir. I try to pour very, very slowly so that the Sphagum can get as wet as possible without the water just running through, rushing through, and without even wetting the Sphagum. Alright, that's it for now. Have a great weekend, guys. Bye.